Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mom 365, where we answer the question, what does motherhood look like for you 365 days a year? I'm your host, Janelle Palmer, and I am so excited you're here with us today. We have a powerful and timely conversation lined up under the theme, The Art of Balancing, how to balance it all as wife, mother, and entrepreneur. And I have the pleasure of welcoming my special guest, Miss Kimberly Epes. So before we get into this conversation and get all in her business, I would love to take a moment to allow Miss Kimberly to introduce herself and tell you all a little bit about who she is and what she does.
Hey y'all, and thank you, Janelle, for inviting me today to be a part of Mom 365. I remember way back when this was just a conversation between you and I. So before I get into who I am, I was actually Janelle's business coach, been for a few years, and I remember she brought the idea of Mom 365 to me, and I thought it was the best thing next to sliced bread. And the reason is, as moms, we get so overwhelmed trying to be it all, have it all, say it all, do it all, and be right all the time. And that's just not how life works. Life. And so when she had that idea, I was like, girl, I'm so excited. I can't wait. And to now see it come to fruition, I say hats off and kudos to you. And I'm just so looking forward to how much Mom 365 is going to benefit moms all over the globe. So, I'm Miss K, the money strategist. I am a serial entrepreneur. I am a mother. I am a wife. I wear every hat now known to man. I own a digital marketing agency called eCode, where we help small businesses and startups grow. We have our own social media scheduling tools similar to a Buffer or a Hootsuite. We have our own CRM system. We do website design, mobile app development. So anything you name it, we do it for our clients. In addition to that, I am a business coach. I help people find the glitch in their niche and figure out how to monetize that, how to make multiple streams of income from one idea source. I have a group on Facebook that's called the Entrepreneurs Hub. So make sure you guys join inside the hub. I go live. I give out great business advice, tips. We host networking events, webinars, and hopefully soon, I'm looking for a place here in Tampa where we will be doing live events as well. So that is a little bit about me and, and everything that I do.
Yeah, so I love it. I love it. Yeah, so Miss Kimberly was definitely my business coach, and I love working with her. We still work behind the scenes on different things. Just gotta get some things right in my life. But I so appreciate you for showing up today, and let's get into this conversation. And towards the end, we're gonna give you a little bit more time to get into your business, let people know where they can find you, and we are definitely going to drop all the links so that you can connect with Miss Kimberly. All right, now, girlfriend. So tell us about your story. Who are you behind all the titles of wife, mother, entrepreneur? Who is Kimberly?
Oh, Lord, girl, you know, that is a powerful question because so often, especially as women, we get wrapped up in the roles we play and forget to acknowledge who we are at our core. So,
Mhm.
behind the title of wife, I'm the woman who believes in loyalty, partnership, and legacy.
Yeah.
Behind the title of mother, I'm a nurturer, I'm a guide. I am someone constantly striving to lead by example, to show my children what's possible when you lead with faith, focus, and fire. And behind the title of entrepreneur, I'm a visionary. I'm
Yeah.
a builder. I'm a woman who get tired of waiting for the seat at other people's tables. So I decided to build my own. But at the heart of it all, y'all, I'm just Miss K. I'm an Alabama girl, born and raised, roll tide. Learned early on that faith and hustle go hand in hand. I'm
Mhm.
someone who has fallen down, had doors slammed in my face, had seasons where I was overlooked, but I never stopped betting on myself. And now my mission is to help others do the same. So the titles are a part of the journey, but the woman, she's still growing, she's still learning, and she's still showing up every single day with purpose. So that's basically me.
Yes, girl, I like that. Come through. So, was balancing something that had to be learned over time, or did it just come naturally?
Ooh, child, let's talk about balance. So that was absolutely something that I had to learn. And if I'm being honest, y'all, I'm still learning this every day.
Mhm.
So in the beginning, for me, I thought I had to do it all. I thought I had to be everything for everybody. The perfect
Mhm.
wife, the super mom, the 24/7 entrepreneur, the one who was always showed up and smiling, even when I was running on fumes. I confused business with productivity, and I wore my burnout, y'all, like it was a badge of honor. But the truth is, balance isn't a destination, it's a rhythm. And I had to learn the idea that everything needed to be equal all the time. I had to unlearn that. So what I've come to understand is that balance is about being present where your feet are. Let me say that
Yeah.
again. Balance is about being present where your feet are. So some days my business gets more of me, some days my family gets more of me, but every day I give the best to whatever space it is that I'm in. So I took the breakdowns, I took the boundaries, I took a whole lot of prayer, but now I protect my peace, y'all. I
Mhm.
prioritize what matters, and I've learned to give myself grace in the process. So, to sum it up, balance isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. And when you're aligned with your purpose, you stop chasing everything and start choosing what is worth your energy.
Yes, girl. I love that answer. I love it. I know that's right. You on time. Excuse they cutting grass today, y'all. So y'all excuse the background.
You're my neighborhood too. That's every day, all day.
I know. So what does balance truly look like for you in this season of your life? Is it possible to have it all at once?
So balance for me in this season, to be honest, to just sum it up simply, it looks like intention. It
Mm,
looks like being crystal clear on what I say yes to, and
yeah,
even more clear on what I say no to. So
yeah.
for me right now, balance isn't a perfectly coded calendar or having every part of my life firing at 100%. It's
Hmm.
knowing that some days dinner might be takeout because I just closed the deal. Or on other days, I'm fully plugged in leggings, y'all got a messy bun, and I'm watching movies with my kids because they need more of me. But it's giving myself permission to pivot, to redefine what having it all means. Because I don't think it is all at once is realistic. I mean, you can't do it like that. But I do believe that you can have everything that is meant for you in due season. So, what shifted that mindset for me is the understanding that success doesn't always look loud. Like sometimes balance is about peace. It's
Yes.
knowing, yeah, honestly, because it's about knowing that my home is good, my mind is clear, and my team is flowing, and my spirit is aligned. So, no, I don't strive to have it all at once anymore, but I do to strive to have what matters the most. And I build the rest around that. And that's just it, freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what it pretty much sounds like is we can have it all. We just have to pace ourselves.
Yeah, we do. And I think I had to learn that because early on I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off. And I just felt like I had to show up. I had to say yes to everything. I had to do everything. I had to be there for everybody. And that's why I said I had to learn when to say no.
Yeah.
N-O, capital N-O. And it's okay. It's okay to not be everything to everybody because you can't win like that. You just can't.
Yeah, yeah. So I like that because that is a huge mindset shift because when you start saying no, then you start saying yes to yourself. And when you say yes to yourself, that means you're pouring more into you. That means you have
Mm-hmm.
more overflow to be able to pour
Mm-hmm.
back into the things and people that you love. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not from an empty, burned out space. So I like
Yes.
I
Yes.
like that. So, how do you prioritize your roles without losing your identity as a woman? Because that's also important.
Well, you know what? The thing that I had to learn is that in this season of my life where I didn't even realize I had lost myself. So I was checking off all the boxes, the wife, the mother, the businesswoman, the leader, the fixer, the cheerleader. But
Mm,
somewhere in the mix, I stopped asking, what does she need?
mm,
What does she desire? So
yeah,
the for me came when I started treating myself like the foundation and not the afterthought. So
yeah,
I had to learn that I'm not just the roles I play. I'm a whole woman outside of who I am to everybody else. And
yeah,
I had to protect that identity by doing things that pour back into her.
yeah,
So whether it's journaling, whether it's traveling by myself, whether it's reading a book or cooking, because Lord knows I love to cook, or sometimes just sitting in silence and telling my kids to go downstairs, those are the moments where I reconnect with Kimberly. Those are the moments that it's just me and Miss K. So prioritizing my roles and who I am first so that I can then pour into everybody else. And like you said, I'm just not pouring from an empty cup.
yes, yes. So, this is a reminder for us that we all wear titles. We have many of them, but behind the titles, there's still the woman, there's still the person, there's still you. So, it's still important for you to nurture her and not get lost in the titles because that's how we lose ourselves, right? And then
Yeah.
once we do get to that space where we lose ourselves, we got to be able to be aware of that so we can come back and find ourselves.
Yeah. And I think that's the hardest thing. Once you lose yourself, it's hard to find yourself because you've lost yourself into everybody else.
Yeah.
So things as simple as what do you want to eat? I don't know because you're so used to eating what everybody else is.
Mm,
Or what do you want to do? I don't know. Because you're so used to doing what everybody else is doing. You don't speak up for yourself. And
yeah.
that was an issue even for me because I would ask my kids or my husband, what do you want to eat? Or my husband said, well, where do you want to go? Well, where do y'all want to go? And I finally was like, wait a minute, we're not doing anything that I want to do. So yes, I had to find the voice for her and say it's okay to say what she wants to do, where she
Yeah.
wants to go. And it took me a while to get there because I was so busy trying to be everything to everybody that she just got put on the back burner.
Yeah, yeah. And she just needed her to find herself again. She just needed to go ahead and have some her time.
Oh
Do a
yeah.
whole lot of dating herself. Remember
Oh yeah.
the things that made her smile, the things that she did before she became a wife, a mother, entrepreneur, all the I think a lot of finding ourselves gets back to us, going back to childhood. What were the things
Mhm.
that made you smile and made you happy?
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
relearning yourself again.
hmm And I
Yeah.
think that was a priority for me though when I was a single mom, when I had my daughter. When my sister would get her on the weekend, I would go to the restaurants. And I remember the first time I went, it was hard because I'm like, Lord, I'm in here by myself. And then I started meeting people and talking to people, and it became easy. But I didn't realize how much I needed that because it then allowed me to figure out who I was on an individual level. And after I got married, that was something that I had to kind of go back and think about and then bring that into my marriage because I'm like, okay, it's great to always have fun with my husband. It's great to have fun with my kids. But today I just want to go have dinner by myself, or I want to go get a hotel room by myself, or I want to go to the spa and have a massage just for me. So when I come back, I'm the better version of myself than the person who left and walked out the door.
Yeah. So before I get into these questions, you did touch on something real quick. That's not our topic for today, but we always like to talk about the journey of motherhood. And one of the things that you said is before you became somebody's wife, you were a single mother. So just tell us a
hmm
little bit about that journey and how you overcame that to meet the love of your life who loves you and your children unconditionally.
He does. So I had my daughter, I was 25 years old. her dad and I, we were at the point of, talking about getting married and, things like that. I had just graduated from the University of Alabama. I had a degree in finance. I was going to law school or, trying to enroll. And, I had my life all planned out. And then, bam, my daughter showed up. She was 7.5 weeks early. So she showed up as a preemie.
Mm.
And at that stage in my life, I was all about me. I was all about her. I was all about what I wanted to do because I was young. And so I had to then kind of pivot and move and become someone's mother. I had to become someone else's everything. So I decided I wasn't going to go to law school. At the age of 2, her dad and I separated. And so at that point, I became a single mother. And, I'm like, okay, not only do I have to wake up every day for myself, I have to wake up every day for my daughter. I have to show her that, hey, as women, we can handle it. We can handle the world. And so I was working. I was going back to school because I was decided to get my master's, but I was going online and I was kind of getting burned out. I'm like, okay, I'm doing it all. We have it all. We're traveling. My daughter and I are doing well. My daughter is self-sufficient, but I'm like, we're missing something.
Mm.
So in 2013, my girlfriend called me and said, hey, come visit my house, and long story short, I met my husband at our house playing cards. And I knew from the first day that him and my daughter met that they had something special. He has been her everything and then some since then. And so I remember telling him, I said, I have goals. I have goals that I want to be an entrepreneur. I said, I've been everything to my daughter. I want to pour something into myself. And in 2017, when we relocated to Florida, he said, retire. I'm
Yes.
like, wait, what now? I'm like, I'm not even 40. What are you talking
I know
about?
that's right. Period.
And he said, retire. He said, I got this. I will take care of the family. I will hold down the fort and you go and follow your dreams. And I have been
Mhm.
doing just that. I have been literally following my dreams since 2017.
I love it. I love it. All right now. So look at that, single mama. So it's hope out there for all of us. Okay. Don't be
It is.
discouraged. The kids don't stop no show. Love will find
Mm-mm.
you when it's supposed to.
Mm-mm. It definitely will. You just have to make sure that you're open to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing as single moms, we're so protective because I know I was. If I was dating someone, I didn't want my daughter to meet them until I knew that that was someone. And my husband was the first person that she met. And when I remember he came over and they sat down and she was doing her homework and he sat down next to her and he helped her do her homework. And at that point she was attached to him like his
Aw.
spirit, yeah. And again, until this day, like that is his, my daughter is his main priority. And when I say that, not that my sons aren't, it's just that she's the only girl, and so he nurtures that. He takes her on dates and different things, so she'll know how a man is supposed to treat her. So yeah, he's that for her.
Yeah, and that's real important. I know, like you said, a lot of times the navigating the dating process is very difficult because you think about the children first, how to protect them. You don't want to bring anybody in their life that would be a hindrance to them, that will hurt them. And when that protector has been removed, you become that for your children.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
completely get that. So, but I love it that he turned out to be an amazing man. And how many years later?
13.
13 years later, y'all still
Wait a
going
minute.
strong.
No, no, 12 years later. Girl, I went added the other year. So I know people out there doing the math. So yeah, we met in 2013 and we got married in 2013, but we're gonna move on past
Yeah. When love shows up at your door and you are ready and it's ordained to happen, sometimes it moves fast. But
It
13
does.
years later, look at it.
It does. It does.
Right?
And we are each other's strength. We're each other's backbone. We're each other's everything, and that I'm going to be forever grateful for, because even in the times that lives, because it's definitely been life, and we're
Girl.
still there and we're each other's rock. We're each other's support system. And that in itself means a lot.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, that's what really matters. Because once the children are no longer in the picture and you're empty nesting, it's important that you have someone that you can turn to no matter what's going on.
Oh yeah, because my daughter's in her first year in college this year, y'all. Can you? I can't even
You're going through
believe
all the
it.
stages.
Oh, I can't believe it. She's living on campus, but I'm proud of her. She's holding it in the road all A's. She graduated last year, 5.9 GPA. I have to
Yes.
tell everybody that top
Congratulations,
5% of her
Madison.
class. Thank you. Yeah, Madison is doing well. So, a lot of people like, hey, coming from a single mom environment, but thank God she grew up in a two-parent household. She's really thriving. She's doing great.
Yes, I love it. So let's get back to these questions. So walk us through a typical day. How do you keep things from falling through the cracks?
Whew. So let me be real with you. There is no such thing, y'all, as a perfect day. But
Yes.
I do have a rhythm that keeps me grounded. So a typical day for me starts early, but before the world starts, before I start making noise, I create space for me.
Yes.
So that might be prayer, that might be journaling, that might be listening to something inspiring while drinking on some tea. But that quiet time sets the tone for my day.
Yeah.
And then after that, I move into mommy mode. I
Hmm.
make sure my kids are up. I make sure that they get breakfast. I make sure their bags are packed. They have their snacks. Their hygiene is where it needs to be. And then I take them in my son and I drop him off at school. I make sure my middle son gets to the bus stop. And then I go into CEO mode. So I check in with my team. I review my top three priorities for the day. I make sure that I'm not just busy, I'm aligned. Because what I've learned, even with that it's easy to get caught up in doing a lot and focusing on moving the needle, but I'm not getting anything done.
Done. Right.
Yeah, and so I kind of do that, and then midday I kind of take a moment for myself. I may go sit on the couch. I may go, meditate just a little bit because I've been wired since 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I need just a minute to kind of regroup, and then I kind of, take my midday. So I may be content creating. I may be
Okay.
calling some clients, talking to some friends. Just trying to make sure I'm staying intact, and keeping my priorities and my list of things that I need to do kind of checked off. And then in the afternoon, that's when the CEO and the business hat comes off, and I'm in mom mode. I make sure dinner is on the table. I make sure that homework is done. I make sure my kids have their baths and stuff. I may watch a movie with my boys because my 14-year-old, he loves to watch movies. So I make sure that we take that time and we do that. And then after everybody go to sleep, I'm back online for a little while. Why? Because my team is overseas. And so it's morning time there, but it's 10 o'clock at night here. So
Yeah.
I don't require them to work the same hours that I'm working. So, I'm up making sure we having meetings. They know what task needs to be done. And when I wake up in the morning, everything that I've assigned to them, they've gotten done. And then my process just starts over.
I love it. I love it. And so, just a quick reminder, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important when they say happy wife, happy life. And I think people misinterpret what that really means because a lot of times nobody brings you happiness. You bring yourself happiness. So you getting up early in the morning and setting your intentions for the day, pouring back into yourself, doing things to fill your spirit, fill your soul. That's all a part of that happy
Mm-hmm.
wife. Because when she's
Mm-hmm.
taking care of herself, you
Mm-hmm.
got room to take care of everybody
Everybody
else.
else. Yep.
Right. But the husband is also in the position to make sure that you can be that happy wife, happy life situation because he meets you in the middle with the other things that you need to get done. So
Oh
it's a
yeah.
balance.
Oh yeah, my husband, he takes the kids to school. He picks them up from school. He cooks dinner. Yes, he cooks, ladies. He cooks.
Yeah.
When we first met, he thought he was cooking. I'm like, baby, putting pizza in the oven and stuff isn't cooking. And so he started out as my sous chef, watching me cook because I love to cook. I've been cooking since I was
Yes.
6. And now he's learned how to make things, and he will go in the kitchen and he will cook dinner. He will help with bath time, homework. If I'm cleaning, he's cleaning. If I'm folding up clothes, he definitely he rolls up his sleeves and he helps out.
Yeah, I like it. But that's the balance of it all, you know? And we're not saying that that doesn't mean that the husband ain't supposed to be happy, but it's kind of I think what people miss is that mom is the center of the household.
House. Oh yeah.
And when she's centered
Oh
it's
yeah.
so much easier to keep everybody else centered
Oh
and
yeah.
grounded and happy and at peace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a process. That's why when women are
Mm-hmm.
running on constant burnout, they're constantly overwhelmed, it's chaos.
It's
You know what I
chaos.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Constant irritation. So
Mm-hmm.
it really has to be a balance. But moms,
Mm-hmm.
it's your responsibility to keep yourself in alignment. You
Yes.
gotta let your family know when I'm at the top. I've had
Mm-hmm.
enough. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I need a break.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about
Mm-hmm.
constant communication as well.
Mm-hmm. I
I
agree.
like it. So, have you ever experienced mom guilt or felt torn between business, family, and self? And how did you handle that?
Woo. Oh, child, absolutely. Guilt and I have had plenty of late night conversations, y'all.
Tell it.
There have been moments where I felt like I wasn't doing enough.
Right.
Like I'm closing a deal and I miss a school event,
Mm,
or if I'm deep in mom mode and my business inbox is overflowing.
yeah.
And so, yeah, there are days where I've sat in my bed next to my husband. I'm physically there, but mentally, I'm still running through tomorrow's to do list. And
Yeah.
so that guilt is real.
Yes.
But what I've learned is guilt grows when grace is missing.
Yes. I like that.
So the first thing I had to do was to learn to extend grace to myself.
Mm,
And I had to stop measuring my worth by how many things I checked off of my to do list, or how perfectly I showed up in each role. So I started asking myself, did I lead with love today? Did
I
I do my best with what I had? And
mhm.
if the answer was yes, y'all, that was enough for me.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was enough for me.
Yeah. I like that because that mom guilt thing is so real because I find myself whenever I'm overdoing and trying to show up and take care of this and take care of that. I miss a lot sometimes with my kids, and I find myself apologizing, like, "Oh, mommy didn't show up for that game. I'm sorry, guys." Or, well, mommy, we wanted you to do this, and mommy wasn't able to. So I have to get back to a place where I sit down with my kids and I kind of explain to them, mommy didn't make this, so let's make up for it by doing this, this, and this. You know what I mean? So that guilt is so real.
It's so real. But you know what? Even in those moments, I had to learn to reframe my perspective.
Yeah.
I had to tell myself that I'm not abandoning my kids when I chase my purpose, but I'm modeling for them what it looks like to walk in your calling. So
Yeah.
I'm not neglecting my marriage, but I am learning how to build something with my partner that's not just for him, but a legacy for my family. And
Yeah.
so that's why I said about extending grace. I had to retrain my mind how I thought about things, because
Yeah.
if not, I was sitting up all night going, "You didn't do this, and you're not a good mom, and you're not." And I'm like, "Yes, I am. I'm a great mom. I'm not perfect. Nobody is." But I
Mm,
had to learn how to rethink and retrain my mind and say, "You know what? Hey, it's not about this, but I'm showing my kids how to live their life out loud, how to
yeah.
go after the things that they desire." And
Yeah.
that's why my oldest, she wants to go to law school. Hey, she's picking up where mommy left
Yes.
off. You know, my middle child, my 14-year-old, he wants to be a DJ. And my little one, he just tested gifted. So they're all driving in their lanes and they're doing their things. And I had to say, yeah, I had something to do with that.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's important too because like you said, reprogramming your mind and looking at it from a different perspective. Because what you're doing today is you're sacrificing so that you can build something that has longevity for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that makes a difference as well. So it kind of sets the tone for them to know that, mommy and daddy made these sacrifices early on. We're also going to do our part so that we can make sacrifices for the next generation. So I
Mm-hmm.
love that. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what systems, routines, or boundaries help you maintain peace and productivity in both your home and your business?
So let me just tell y'all something. If you want peace and productivity, you cannot just wing it. You can't. And you know me, you know better than anybody. I am a systems person. You need systems that serve you. You need routines that ground you, and you need boundaries that protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. So in my household, my biggest game changer has been structure with flexibility. So although we have family routines, we have our morning flows, our evening wind downs, we have our check-ins throughout the week. I'm not trying to micromanage my family every second of the day, because
Right.
everybody knows what their rhythm is. Everybody knows what they do to contribute to the run of the household. And that helps to create peace in my household. That helps to create flow. So my son knows, hey, I have to take out the trash. My daughter knows, hey, I have to make sure that the dishes are washed and put up after we have dinner. My little one knows he needs to pick up his toys before he goes to bed at night. So that kind of keeps the house at peace. So I'm not having to do every little thing. So I can still focus on them and my business as well. And then in my business, my calendar, y'all, is my compass. I
Yes.
use my CRM system, I use my project management board, and then I block off time so I'm just not reacting, but I'm actually leading. So, like I said, I have the meetings at night, when they're fresh, instead of saying, hey, you need to be on with me at 10 o'clock in the morning, but it's 10 o'clock at night for them. Their minds are not fresh. So I'll take the hit and say, hey, let's do it
Right.
then, because they are the creatives behind what we do. And I need them to be at full capacity so that while I'm sleeping, I can focus on at least closing my eyes and getting a little rest, and they can focus on doing what we need to do.
Oh,
So that's how we do. I have a system, and everybody stays in their lane, and it works.
yeah. Give me 1 second because somebody's at the door in the middle of my interview. Give me a minute. I'm coming. I'm sorry. All right. And
It's
and it
okay.
doesn't stop, right? I apologize, everybody. I'm sorry. So, how do you stay spiritually, emotionally grounded amidst all the chaos?
Whew. Y'all, if I'm honest with y'all and I'm honest with myself, life be life.
Right.
And without something deeper anchoring me, I would have drifted a long time ago. So staying spiritually and emotionally grounded isn't just a luxury for me, it's a lifeline. So every single day, I start with God. Before I check my phone, before I check my emails, I check in with Him. So
Mhm.
whether it's prayer, whether it's worship music, whether it's journaling, reading the Bible, whatever, or I just sit and listen sometimes, I've made space for that connection with God to guide me. Because when the world is loud, I need to hear something higher. Because we all know motherhood in itself, it will stretch you.
Yeah.
Business will challenge you, and life will humble you. So I've learned that peace isn't found in perfect conditions, but it's found in the presence of God. So I have to take a minute to pause, breathe, and pray and say, God, I don't have it all figured out, but I trust you to lead me today. And even that little statement, that little sentence, it shapes my day. And
Yeah.
even throughout the day, and something goes wrong and it kind of takes me out of that space, I'm like, okay, God, I know you got this. We gonna figure this out. And I may have to take a minute and just sit there and kind of regroup. My husband said I may go walk for a minute, or I'll go sit on the couch, and then I'll come back and like, aha, God is giving me the answer, and I can keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know the when we understand that everything is spiritual, everything aligns.
Oh
Because
yeah.
everything is in a spiritual realm before it manifests in the physical. So I like that. So, what support systems like your partner, team, or child care do you believe are essential for women in trying to do it all or balance it all?
Ooh. So first of all, we are not meant to do it all by ourselves. Period.
Mm-mm.
Point blank. Period. That's the post. And one of the biggest breakthroughs I had as a woman as a mother, and as a CEO, was realizing that asking for help is not a weakness, it's a
Yeah.
wealth strategy. And
Yes.
so I also had to learn that support isn't optional, it's essential.
Yeah.
So let me start at my home. My partner, we communicate with each other. We let each other know what we need, not just emotionally, but practically. So we're just not suffering in silence and trying to figure it out. We actually have that system. And then childcare. Oh my God, that was a game changer for me. When I first started my business, I was a stay-at-home mom. My son was a year old. We moved here to Florida in 2017, and that's when I retired. So, in addition to me trying to build a business, I'm trying to take care of a 1 year old who's learning to walk, who's learning to use the potty, who's learning to talk, who needs a lot of my time. And I had to hire a nanny. I could not do it. I told my husband, I'm like, I'm trying to take him to the library. I'm trying to establish us here, and it's just way more than what I can handle. And
Yeah.
so, what we ended up doing was I found a nanny that was in my neighborhood. I would take William over a couple of days out of the week, and she and I became the best of friends. So, on days that I was just really stressed out, I would take William, and she could tell. We would sit on her lanai. We would have us a cup of coffee or two, and we would have the best conversations out loud. Because
Yeah.
I didn't have any family here, so I couldn't say I'm gonna take him to grandma. I'm gonna take him there. And then I had another nanny that would come over at night, so my husband and I could have date night. Um, and we
I
needed
like.
that. So she would bring her kids, and her kids would stay here while she would watch my kids. And so that would give us a minute to say, hey, let's go and have a steak dinner, or let's go, look at the ocean, or let's go do something within minutes. And then for
Uh-huh.
my business, I hired me a VA, Lord, and that was the game changer because it freed up a lot of my time. So I wasn't answering the phones, I wasn't responding back to emails, I wasn't putting my hair out because I'm like, oh God, I just can't. And that was the best thing I probably ever did to myself. So it was
Yeah.
kind of creating that balance that I needed so I can continue to move forward as opposed to me just trying to do it all. It just wasn't possible.
Yeah. So the key to what you said is that you can't do it all alone. So it's very important to have a village, to have a team. And sometimes that looks like spending some money. And, for the single moms who do it all and make it look easy, it really isn't. That's why a lot
Mm-mm.
of us are overstimulated.
Yep.
It's a lot of burnout because it truly is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's First of all, it's a lot to manage yourself.
Yes.
Now imagine adding a whole nother human being to the process.
Yes.
You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
I think for me, I learned that early on because I tried to do it all. Lord, did I try and do it all? And I think one day my husband came home and I looked like one of those moms off of TV. My hair was all over the place. My child had put milk everywhere. And when he walked through the door, I knew he had been working 12 hours, but I couldn't take it. I'm like, here, I cannot. I'm over it. Yeah. And I think that's when we both sat down and was like, okay, what can I do to help you? And that's what he asked me. He's like, what can I do to help you? And so we have this mom group in my neighborhood that I love. And I just asked, like, who watches your children aside from daycare? Because I didn't want them to go into a daycare.
Right.
And someone, put her name out there, and I just reached out to her, and it was the best thing that's a sliced bread.
Yes, I like it. So, what advice would you give to a mom who feels overwhelmed, stuck between choosing her family and her purpose?
Hmm. First of all, sis, I see you.
Yes.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you right now, you were never meant to choose between your family and your purpose.
Yes.
That's a false narrative that society tries to feed us, but it's not the truth. So
No.
here's the real tea. You're not just one dimensional. God didn't give you a family and a calling for you to have to just pick one. He
Yes.
gave you both because you're equipped to carry both. But in order to do that, you need help, you need strategy, and you need grace.
Yes.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed, first of all, you need to do is to release your guilt. Your
Mm,
desire to build something beyond your home does not make you less of a mother or a woman. It
yes.
makes you an example. Your
Mm,
kids are watching how you show up for yourself, how
yeah.
you trust God with your vision, how you create, how you lead, how you rest, and how you rise.
Yeah.
So, your family doesn't need you to be a perfect you. They need you to be a present you. Let me tell you
Yeah.
that again. Your family does not need you to be a perfect you. They need you to be a present you, a fulfilled you, a mom who is alive in her purpose, who will always show up better at home than one who's silently drowning in resentment and what ifs. Because if you're drowning in your resentment and what ifs, you're going to take out that frustration somewhere. And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that comes out on your husband, that comes out on your children, that comes out on your friends, that comes out in so many different ways, and it's not beneficial to you. So give yourself permission to honor both. So start out
Yeah.
small, take steps to get started, ask for support, and then set your boundaries and know that you're building your dream. It doesn't have to be a hustle, but it is your alignment, and you're aligning with who you're meant to be.
Yes, period. And so let me take that back for y'all real quick, right? If we get just a little bit biblical, when we talk about the Proverbs 31 wife,
Hello,
she worked,
hello,
she had a business,
hello,
she loved her husband,
hello,
she managed her household,
hello.
and she still took care of her children. So why do we have to choose between our purpose and our family? We just have to figure out how to work as a team so that everything comes together. Because guess what? At the end of the day, who benefits from everything that you accomplish or that you bring home or whatever? The
Mm-hmm.
family.
The family. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes life
Family.
easier on the children, on the husband, you know. And a lot of times they say the man has the vision and the woman is really the one that's able to plan it out, because
Yep.
we're a little more strategic, and we operate in a space of more creativity, right? So we're able to add that flow to everything.
Oh yeah, and I always tell my daughter, because I always try to mentor her. I tell her this isn't an either or life. This is
Period.
a both and a blessing.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm a mother, I'm a leader, and I'm a woman with purpose. So you're allowed to rise in every role that you've been called to. You don't
Yes.
have to just pick one. You don't.
Yes, yes. And then again, for the women who want to be able to just, stay at home, you're not just a stay at home mom either. For women who don't want to be in the work world. But what I do understand is everything that we step into is our ministry.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's being at home, whatever it is that you choose to do it with purpose, do it with love, and
Mhm.
do it in a way that you're going to be impactful, because
Mhm.
you'll be surprised that in your mind it's nothing, but to somebody else it's a huge difference. You're setting an example without even knowing it.
Mhm. I agree.
Yeah, so I
I
like that.
agree.
So how do you and your partner stay aligned and connected when life gets hectic, when life starts lifing, girl?
Lord have mercy, y'all. Life will test that alignment if you let it. So, because between business meetings, school drop offs, late night emails, and everything is in between, it's easy for your relationship to slip into autopilot. But
Mm-hmm.
what my partner and I have learned in this, alignment is not automatic, it's intentional.
Yeah.
So we make space for check-ins, and not just about the schedules, not about the kids, not about what we eat for dinner, but about us. How are you feeling? What do you need? How can I show up for you? It's not always deep, but it's consistent. So the connection doesn't always require grand gestures. It doesn't require, Louis Vuitton bags and all of this.
Yeah.
It just requires presence. So we protect our quality time like it's sacred, you know.
Yes.
So that might look, like I said, date night, you know, or we may, if we can't go out on a date, we wait until the kids go off to bed, tell them y'all got to go upstairs and go to bed early, and we're going to watch a movie, or we're going to have a steak night dinner or something at home.
Mhm.
No phones, no interruptions, or we love to take quick weekend getaways. So whenever my mom flies into town, she already knows she may fly in at 1 o'clock and get here by 2:30. At 3 o'clock, we're in the car, we go.
Period. I
And we
love
don't
it.
have to go far. You know, we may go 45 minutes up the road and get a hotel at a resort because we're in Florida. So, you know, we go and we just stay on the beach, or we go, and, you know, it's not about, you know, hey, we have to go. Now, we do like to travel, you know, Vegas
Yeah.
and different places, but it's not about that. Sometimes we just saying, hey, we about to go reset. We're going to go over and stay at the embassy, or we're going to stay, you know, at the Hilton, or do something, and we're just still here in the city.
Yes, I like it. Yes. If you could define balance in one sentence, what would it mean to you?
What's it is okay. So balance is the intentional rhythm of honoring what matters most in each season without losing yourself in the process.
Right. Yes. So balance is about being present, most
Being
importantly for
intentional.
yourself and for everybody else once you are nurtured and filled. I like it.
Hello.
I
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what legacy are you hoping to build through your motherhood, your marriage, and your entrepreneurship?
Ooh. The legacy that I'm building is one of wholeness, where
Mm,
faith, family, and purpose don't compete, but they coexist.
yes.
So, through my motherhood journey, I want my children to know that they come from strength, vision, and love. I want
Yeah.
them to see that it's possible to be fully present and still pursue what sets your soul on fire. I
Yeah.
want them to understand that they don't have to shrink, they don't have to settle, and they don't have to sacrifice their dreams to be great parents, partners, or anything in between. They can do both with grace and intention.
Right.
In my marriage, I want to show that partnership is about purpose, alignment, and not just romance. The love that we built on quiet moments, the hard conversations, the shared prayers, and all the vision that we chase together is what creates the foundation for who we are. And it
Yeah.
allows us to then grow together and not grow apart. And
Mm,
then in my business, I want to build a blueprint for impact. I want women to see that they can own their power, they can walk boldly in their calling, and they can create generational wealth without burnout or breaking down. So
yeah.
it's kind of like all three of those combined is what I want to leave for not only my kids to see, but everybody else as well, to say, hey, you know what? We can have it all. It's just about the manner in which we go after it.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So, finally, what would you say to the moms listening right now who feels like she is failing at everything?
Breathe,
Breathe. I
sis,
like it.
breathe. Like,
Breathe.
just that's it. Just breathe. You are not failing. You're not fighting. You're not losing. What you're
Yeah.
doing is you're showing up. You're
Yes.
trying. You're loving, and that alone makes you a much stronger than you think. So the one thing that I would say, we're not just going into a whole lot, is breathe. This
Breathe.
is not the end of your story, but it is the moment of your becoming. And I think once
Yes.
you realize that, everything else for you will fall into place. And that's the one thing I tell myself every day, is the phoenix rising. This is my becoming season. You know,
Yeah.
life for us for a while. I am rising. This is my becoming season. So
Hello.
use that to tell yourself that, you know, and when you have those moments where life is life and everything is knocking you down and you feel like one of those balloon animals, you know, when something hits you, you fall back like this and you still got to get back up.
Let's breathe. You
Just
got it.
breathe, sis. You got it. You got this. Just breathe.
You got it. I love it. I love it. So I know we kind of answered this throughout the process, but it wouldn't be right if we ain't focused completely on it. What does motherhood look like for you 365 days a year? Tell it, tell it, tell it.
Motherhood for me, y'all, 365 days is just simply put beautifully chaotic. It's
Yes.
wild and humbling, and it's sacred for me. It's early morning cuddling with my little one. It's late night praying over my kids. I walk in their room and pray
Amen.
for making sure that they okay.
Cover them.
It's me being the chauffeur, the chef, the nurse, the counselor, the cheerleader, the referee, and everything in between. But I still
Yeah.
somehow show up for my business, and I show up with a smile on my face. So
Yeah.
it's learning to balance between the guilt and the gratitude because
Mm.
I'm doing enough. Look at what I built, and most of all, look at who I'm becoming.
Yes. I love it. So we wouldn't be right if we didn't touch on this because we are a spa and we believe in self-care. We believe in putting yourself first. So you tell me, what is it that you do for self-care? Once you have mothered, once you have wife, once you have business, I'm making up my own words, y'all. It's okay. What do you do for Kimberly, for Miss K? How does Miss K get filled back up?
Oh, honey, Miss K love her a spa, honey. Everybody knows Miss K love her a spa. My daughter just asked me last week, Mommy, what do you want for Mother's Day? I said, I want a gift card to the spa, honey. I
Period.
need me a facial. I need me a massage. I need my toes in it. Like, I love a spa. If, like, my husband, once a year, they have Masonic events that he goes to. And prior to me becoming an Eastern Star, I would go with my husband. But while he was out doing his thing, I was with whatever hotel we stayed in, had to have a spa. And I would go to the spa the entire day. And when I get back at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, we would go have a steak dinner. But I done been there since 9 o'clock that morning. Like,
I
I've
love
gotten all types of
it.
stuff. But that is my thing because that is my quiet time. That is my moment to just let her hair down. That is my moment
Yeah.
to enjoy myself. That is just everything for me. Like that, my husband knows, like even when, like I mentioned, having the nanny, the first day William stayed with her, I went to the spa. I did. I sure did. I
Needed
went
it.
and got, but I needed it. And when I came back that afternoon, he said, "Now you look like yourself."
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until I was a single mom, and I think someone bought me a year long subscription to Massage Envy. That's when you can,
Nice.
pay per month
Uh-huh.
and go. And I had my first massage, and I'm like, ooh. And
Yes.
ever since then, that is something that I try and do for myself more often than not is to go to the spa. Like that is my thing.
Yes. So that's a reminder for everybody for you to understand that spas are not luxury. They're therapy. It's an alternative
Mm-hmm.
therapy to everything that's going
Mm-hmm.
on in the world. You go see the
Mm-hmm.
doctor, you go see the gynecologist, you go see
Mm-hmm.
your psychologist. Are you going to see your spa so that you can
Mm-hmm.
take care of your mental, emotional,
Mm-hmm.
physical, and spiritual wellness and alignment? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's just as important as all the other stuff they tell you got to do annually. So I'm just saying. So I
Yeah,
love.
and we can't make that annually like the doctors. I need to go every month. Like my,
That's what I'm saying. It should be. You talk to your therapist once a week, don't you? You're supposed to
yes.
be at the spa at least 3 times a month.
Yeah, my
Take
massage
care of
person, she
yourself.
knows me, and they know what I like. They know, what I want. They know what I need. And when you build that relationship, when you go in there, it's a thing because my nail tech, they know what I like. I don't just go sit down at anybody. I make my appointments because they get to know me and I get to know them. And
Yep.
for me, that's my time. I don't take well, I do take my daughter with me sometimes.
She's old enough now.
She's
Yep.
old enough now, yeah, but you go sit over there on that side. Like, leave me alone.
We don't know each other for a couple of hours, baby.
Just let me have these couple of hours to myself. And
Yeah.
that way, when I come home, I feel like I look better. My skin is glowing. But not only that, my aura is glowing, my
Different.
inside, myself.
Yes.
Yes. And
Mm,
now I can continue to pour into you because my cup is full.
Yes, yes. So sometimes when women talk about that, I'm overwhelmed, I'm burnt out, I'm tired. It's not a physical tired. The soul needs
Yeah.
rest. Yeah.
Yes.
So you got to
Yes.
pamper that as well.
Yes.
So do you have any encouraging tips or advice that you would like to share with other moms based on your own journey or wisdom that you want to pass on?
My thing is learn to love you.
Yes.
Learn to look at you. You know, so often we see other moms and other women, and it seems like they got it all together. They
Mhm.
doing it all. They rising. They got it. You know, as my mom said, they got it going on. But look in the mirror and tell yourself, I got it going on too.
Yeah, and you
Um,
do.
and
Hmm.
because I think we fail to do that. We've been trained to tell everybody else they're beautiful. We've been trained to comment on everybody else's social media posts. We've been trained to hit the
Yeah.
hearts and the likes and whatever else that we need to do, but we don't heart for ourselves. We don't like for ourselves. We don't comment
Yes.
on ourselves. And that's the thing. We have to learn to do that first. You have to pour into your own cup first. And that
Yeah.
means to tell yourself, hey, I am doing the most. I am great at what I do. I am somebody. I am worthy. I am beautiful. I have an I am board.
Yes.
And on that I am board, I write everything that I feel that I am. You know, and I get up every morning and I read my I am board because that empowers me to show up in the best version of myself because I told myself who I am based off of how I see myself, not the world. I
Yeah.
don't need the world to sign off on it. I don't need
Period.
everybody else to tell me who I am. I'm comfortable in my skin and comfortable in telling myself. And we all, as women, need to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. We've been told that it's wrong.
Yes.
No, there's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with that. We actually need that. And you'll
Yeah.
start to see how you feel better, you show up better, you interact better because now you have a foundation in yourself and you're grounded.
Yes, I like it. Show up for yourself, man. You
Mm-hmm.
hear that? Show up for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You can't expect to be loved by anybody if
Mm-mm.
you don't love on you first, right? You are your
Mm-mm.
first cheerleader. You set
Mm-hmm.
the example and the blueprint on how you need to be loved. So come on out,
Yes.
women. You are that girl. I need you to tell
Yes.
her that every day. Tell her, Miss K, show up, show out. You look good. You are beautiful. We don't care about the little roles. We don't care about none of that. I need you to own all of your fierceness because you are that girl.
Yeah, you are that girl, and that's even loving on yourself, despite of whether you how your husband or your significant other makes you feel, because we can't
Yes.
expect them to love us more than we love ourselves. And I think
Hmm.
that's the thing that a lot of us forget is that we look for love outside of ourselves, and it should start in you first. It should
Yeah.
start in how you show up for you first, because then that person that shows up in the world, oh, she's fierce, honey. You know, when she walks in the room, she owns it. When she sits at that table, it's her table. She's sitting at the
Yeah.
head. She's not standing in the back of the room. You know, and
Hmm.
that was something I had to grow into. And it took me a while to get there. But
Yeah.
now that she's there, I'm loving that part of her.
I love it. And we ain't never going to shrink. We're going to
Oh
keep
no.
on rising as her.
Yes, and everybody else should do the same. So get your I am boards together, ladies. You can go to the dollar store and get you a cheap little poster. You know, you don't
Uh-huh.
have to go spend a whole lot. Now, if you want to dazzle it up and bedazzle it, hey, that's on you. But what
Yeah.
I am saying, you can get you one little cheap permanent marker and a dollar store poster and just write your I ams on there and just say your I ams to you every day. Because even though you may not feel like you are all those things on day one, my husband has this saying 21 days make a habit.
Yeah.
After 21 days, oh, you'll start to feel better because you've already put it in your spirit as to who you are.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Kate. Thank you. So, Kimberly, I just want to thank you so much for your honesty, your grace, and wisdom today. Your story is definitely a reminder that balance isn't about perfection, it's about intention,
Mm-hmm.
alignment, and grace. So,
Yes.
before we close it out, before I shut it down, I would like to give Miss Kimberly an opportunity to let you all know how you can connect with her. And of course, we'll drop the links when we post the video. So I want to give her an opportunity to tell you all just a little bit more about her business, what she does, and how she can help you get to where you're trying to go.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you, Janelle, for
So,
inviting me today to be a part of 365. I have enjoyed this conversation. This has been one for the books. Like I said earlier, I'm so happy to see where it goes. This conversation with you has blessed my soul, and I pray that it blesses somebody else.
amen.
But if you want to connect with me online, again, I am Miss K, the money strategist. I help you find the glitch in your niche and monetize it. You
Yeah.
can find my website, www.thedigitalmoneystrategist.com. There you can sign up for my coaching program, or you can take my passive income course because, again, eggs is high, gas is high, food is high, everything high.
World is
And
high,
we,
girl.
woo, Lord, and we all need to have multiple streams of income. So definitely check out that. I do have some journals and different things like that, planners on my website that you can purchase as well. If you need help with digital marketing, SEO, website design, you can check out my website. My agency is called eCode, www.epscode. So that's EPESCODE.com. There you can find out about all the different services that we provide. And make sure that you join my Facebook group. It is called the Entrepreneurs Hub. Yeah, we are doing some great things inside of the hub. Today, I did a lunch and learn where
And
I
it was
talked about,
amazing.
hey, thank you. How to create a scalable digital product, how to put it on autopilot and make money. We had a 5 day challenge that we did a couple of weeks ago. We will be starting back doing our networking event. So it's an online event, and what happens is when the camera comes on, you're sitting at the table with four of the business owners. You share your information, you get theirs. You do that for 30 minutes, and then I come on and start talking. So we're going to do some big things this year, y'all. It's time
Yeah.
to level up. It's time to take those dreams and aspirations and things you've been hiding in the closet and make money from it. And that's what we're doing in 2025.
Period. Yes, Miss K, the money strategist. I love it, girl. Thank you so, so, so much. So, to every mama listening, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Please give
Mm-mm.
yourself love, rest, and
Mm-mm.
compassion. You so freely give to everyone else. Fill yourself up first and then share from the overflow because you deserve it. You are worthy, you are enough, and you are doing better than you think. So, if this episode blessed you, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube so you never miss a moment of mom to mom inspiration. So until next time, stay grounded, stay graceful, and stay growing. So we just always love to say, welcome to another episode of Mom 365, where we believe you got to put yourself first and self indulge. So don't forget to put yourself first and self indulge because why? You deserve it. So we thank you. And until next time, thank you so much, Miss K.
Thank you.